takeover guys, they definitely did not help the street racing guys because it's all under one umbrella. A lot of people think that when you own a body shop, you automatically are just swimming in money.
Okay.
It's not the case. I was the first, and I'm saying it here, the first to put Nismo Z wheels on the Q50. An 11-second pass back then was fast.
Oh, yeah.
It's not fast anymore.
You're like what?
I'm 6'8". 6'8".
6'8"?
You're 6'8"?
6'8".
Goddamn.
Yeah, 6'8". I love Civics though. Love them to death.
Welcome back to another episode of the Street Alpha Podcast. I'm your host, Tukes. We got my guy, Josh, here.
What up, what up?
And today we have another guest, another very, very special guest, because today we have my guy, Stretch.
How you doing?
Let's clap it for Stretch. Always forgot about the clapping. The clapping's kind of a new thing, but it helps, lighten up the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
But, so, Stretch is one of the first guys to put a Hellcat motor in a non-Trackhawk vehicle, right?
Right.
Which is super dope. So we're going to get into that.
Cool.
And we're going to get into a couple of businesses or shop that he has, right? And a couple of other builds that he had prior to. So I know he didn't want to be called an OG, but I consider him, he's known. So I think it's important to pay respect to people who have been doing this for a while. So yeah, pretty dope interview. How are you? You good?
Well, how are you?
Yeah. I think you're like the first guy that we've had that didn't put their vehicle in the background. So if you guys see the Super back there, we just put my car there because Josh wanted to park the cars a certain way. So
What?
it's cool. I don't mind having my car back there, so it's fine. So let's talk early on. So how long you been doing this for?
Cars in general?
Cars in general.
Shit. Well over a decade.
Over a decade.
Yeah.
So I would say like what, 2008?
Yeah, I would say around 07 is when I started.
07.
tinkering
So
around cars.
what was your first car?
First vehicle ever was a 92 Infiniti G20.
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 I remember those.
That was my first ever car.
I remember those. My boy had a white one, G20, and it was boosted. But I remember that car had a bunch of problems back then.
Yeah.
But it sounded dope.
Yeah,
it
it sounded good. I
think
thought
that
it was the
one of
fastest
first.
thing on the planet.
Yeah. What do those cars make?
I have no idea. It probably made like 96 horsepower.
96?
It maybe.
That's solid. 96?
It didn't make much.
96 in the early race days? I mean, shit.
It's probably fast.
That's pretty average.
I thought it was fast.
Yeah, we always think our cars are fast. I remember I had my first car was like an EK 4-door, and I was banging those gears, bro. VTEC hit. That was it. I was lit, baby. I was lit. So was that, how long you had that car for? Was that like your first like?
I had that car for 5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
Does that even count as your first car?
Yeah, it counted. It counted for me, man. Look, I thought it was the fastest thing on the planet. I was flying up and down my block, no license, no registration, nothing. I had the e-brake up. I smelled like some shit burning, and then after that, I was just like, yeah, nah, this is not for me. I had to like fix the rear caliper, and that was kind of where I learned how to wrench on things myself. And it took a toll, and I was like, you know what, I'm good. So I got it out of here after that. That was enough for me.
So 5 days in, 5 days into owning that car, like what was next for you after that?
After that, I ended up with I that's when I joined the Honda world.
Oh, okay.
I probably owned maybe like 18 Civics when I was younger.
18?
I was going through them, like just the barter system, the trade up, I think the car after that was a EG 4-door.
EG 4-door. Yeah, I had a 4-door too, but I never had an EG.
You actually fit in a Honda?
Yeah. Look, I love this.
You're like what?
I'm 6'8".
6'8"?
You're 6'8"?
6'8".
Goddamn.
Yeah, 6'8". I love Civics though. Love them to death. Like,
yeah, Civics
Honda has my heart forever.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I love a nice Civic till this day.
Yeah, no, Civics are definitely, I always pay respect to the Civic guys because I feel like a lot of people start with that car, but now it's like, man, if I had one, it'd be like, it wouldn't be as fun anymore because everyone's doing K-swaps. Everyone's got these 900 horsepower cars. It's not like how it was back then where you could have something like, a single. Yeah. And you could be making moves, which I'm sure there's probably singles out there that make moves, but like everything's like K-series, 900 horsepower now, and it's just like, I rarely see people who are actually enjoying their Civics and have like fire builds.
Yeah, it's very different now than what it
Way
was.
different.
When I built Civics back in the day, when I was putting them together
Yeah.
with friends, it was because we all had them. It
Right.
was me and a bunch of other friends from Queens, which is where I'm from. We all had Civics, so we would all try to outdo one another. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's just what it was.
Right.
If it was headers or whether it was an intake or whether it was a chip on the computer, no matter what it was, we were all just out having fun, racing one another.
Yeah.
Then obviously it evolved. We all got older and cars got faster. So now, like you said, if I was to build a Civic now, I'd probably have fun. It just wouldn't be what it was.
It wouldn't be
No,
what it was.
no, it
I feel
wouldn't
like
be what it was.
everybody now I feel like they care about more like, oh, what's it got in it? It's got a K series, or it's K series is that's the way to go.
Yeah.
But it's just not. I feel like back then everybody had like D series singles, and it was still respected,
Yeah.
and you rarely saw those guys who had the crazy horsepower cars,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's just very common. Like everybody's got one.
Yeah,
You know?
it's extremely common now. I mean, look, if you don't have 1,000 horsepower car now, it's not respected. I mean, not by me.
Yeah.
Car make 500 horsepower is respected.
Right.
Car makes 600 horsepower is respected. I respect all horsepower. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I've been dragged by cars that don't make as much power.
Yeah.
Power to weight is a big thing, and it's looked over a lot.
Right.
A car makes 600 horsepower, but it weighs 2,500 pounds. You're getting dragged. Like,
Well, I mean, you're also 6'8".
I'm also 6'8".
I can't even-
So banging gears is
That's like a
it's
go
different.
kart for you, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're 6'8" in the EG. So you had how did you didn't? was
Oh,
your
back
head-
then I wasn't 6'8". Back then I'm 6'8" now, but I was a teenager back then. I was probably it's not gonna make it big. I was probably
Like 6'5".
I was 6'5".
I was
6'6".
6'5",
Yeah, I mean, well, that 6'5" made a difference, man. Like I'll put S2000 seats in it, or I'll put something else, a different seat, and I was good.
Yeah.
I
Or
was
no
chilling.
seats.
No, I never did the no seat. Actually, that's a lie. I did have to move a car one day with a milk crate. That's a lie. I had to do the milk
That's
crate
gangster.
thing one
Yo,
day. Yeah.
that's crazy.
No, the Honda days for what it was, they were pretty, they were fun.
Yeah.
They were great times. That's when the car scene was completely different. It
Yeah.
was you built the cars in your driveway with your boys. You had some beers, barbecue going.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. It's not like that no more. Now it's you run to the dealership, you order a bunch of parts online, you slap them on, you got a fast car.
Literally.
It's completely different. There's no bonding anymore.
Yeah.
When that you have a lot of shops still around New York that have that bonding feel, that family feel.
Right.
A lot of those shops are still here, and a lot of them shops aren't here anymore.
Yeah.
So cars are just getting faster.
You ever heard of BYT?
BYT.
Yeah, BYT. They were Goldie. He had a shop called BYT
Mm-hmm.
out here in I think it was Deer Park, and he was like known
That's
for a lot-
backyard tuning, right?
Yeah,
BYT?
I thought it was called Backyard Technology, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I know
Backyard
what you're talking
tuning.
about, yeah.
Goldie. He used to build a lot of the cars out here back in the day, and it was always a hangout over there. And all of the faster cars would go to him, but it was a lot of times where it was like a lot of drama because there was people who were waiting for certain things, and like when your shop becomes a hangout, it's hard to get work done. So with a lot of conflict in that area, there was times where I've been there and there was like fights that happened. So I do miss those times where it was like you get to network and kind of chill with people who have similar builds. But then it was also like kind of sketchy sometimes when you go, because sometimes people go to shops just to hang out. They don't really get any work done, or they don't even have a car. I didn't even have a car when I first started going there actually, but that was my introduction into like the whole Honda game, because I saw these guys growing up, and I was just like, yo, like I want a Honda. And he always had like the dope builds that I've seen in the area. So shout out to Goldie, by the way. I'm not sure where he is now, but when I had an S2000, I took my car to him, and I think he got me some parts, but it just wasn't the same as it was back in 2000. I think it was like 2011. No, 09. 09, 08. And he was like one of the shops that I knew, along with like, there was like NRG Tech.
NRG, yeah.
NRG, and I forgot what the other shop was around. Oh, Midnight Auto.
Yeah, rest in peace to Morris.
Yeah, rest in peace. Midnight Auto was another shop just like that, that I used to go to and hang out. So, yeah, it just brings back memories. Very nostalgic time.
Oh, yeah.
08, 09.
Yeah, that was a good time.
So now, after you had the Honda, you said how many?
I probably had like 18 of them, man. Like I had a lot of
18.
them. I had a Nitro single cam, Turbo B series.
Nitrous single?
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, I
What?
was doing things so backwards back then. Like it just,
That's wild.
I was having a good time. I was
Stock
young.
internals?
Stock motor, definitely.
Did you blow? Did you blow it up?
I blew it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You had any eBay builds?
No.
No?
I never had an eBay build.
That was pretty common. Have like eBay like on a single. Mm-hmm. You know, eBay had like turbo kits and
Turbo
stuff.
kits,
Even
yeah.
though you probably blow the housing or you know into pieces, but it was a cheap way to get into like a turbo
Yeah.
build. And some of them actually.
Some of them, I know plenty. I've known a couple, eBay turbo cars that
Yeah.
made jam and they made
Yeah.
good power for the time and they were fast.
Yeah.
They were definitely fast. I mean, but see, this is a different type of fast. An 11-second pass back then was fast.
Oh yeah.
It's not fast anymore.
You
but-
don't even. That's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I honestly, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even respected. It's more like cars come like that stock,
Yes.
running high 10s or 11s
Yeah.
out of the dealership, and it's just like, where does the Super run?
Stock?
Yeah,
I'd say like high 11s.
high 11s
Yeah. See that you would have to put a ton of money to do that before.
back then.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's very different.
It's all
very
technology
different.
now.
Technology is what stopped a lot of the guys that were fast back then from being faster.
Right.
That's literally all. Same internals. A lot of these motors are built the same way.
Yeah.
5-to-1 compression Civic motors. I mean, back then, the high compression boost things, you stayed away from them.
Right.
The guys that were fast, they had high compression motors. You just didn't know.
Right.
So they stayed away from high compression and boost. Now it's, all right, we got a high compression motor, and now we throw some boost at it and we make a bunch of power.
Yeah.
Back then, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it was definitely nostalgic at that time. But so after, to get back on track, 'cause we could talk about this for days. Back on track. So you had those. What was your first car that you feel like put you on the map?
I would say the TL, but not really. The TL was more early Instagram.
Yeah. Like 20. How early are we talking?
I think that was 2013.
Oh, that's early.
2014.
Yeah, that's when, like,
yeah.
when they first.
Yeah, that was.
Instagram came out in 2012. No, 2013
I don't know. I have no idea what year.
or something like that. 2012, right?
All right. So yeah, I had the
Yeah.
TL probably like 2013, 2014.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, 2013, 2014. So
You were posting it on
yeah,
Instagram.
Yeah, I was posting on Instagram. If I got 100 likes, I was just like, yeah, boy.
Dude,
I
that's
got
a
100
lot
likes.
for
That's a
20
lot.
for 2012 Instagram or 2013. 100
Yeah.
likes is a lot.
Yeah, that car was slammed, static. It was. I went through a ton of transmissions and a ton of oil pans.
Dude, that's the Acuras, right?
Yeah,
Terrible.
that
Those
3.2.
transmissions are terrible.
Yeah, but I had fun with it. I put S2000 seats in that thing. I had a 08 TL Type S steering wheel in it.
Yeah.
The car was just super clean. On CCWs, on classics.
CCWs.
Yep,
How
CCW
much
classics.
did you pay for those back then?
I paid $4,500 for them.
That's a lot back then too.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
4,500 in 2013.
yeah. I paid $4,500 for them.
What do you think that would go for now in today's
I
market?
don't know. They're hanging on the wall in my house. I have no idea.
Yeah, those are probably pricey, man.
Yeah, I have no idea what they cost now. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
4,500. Yeah.
That was the first set of 3-piece wheels I had ever purchased in my life. And I made sure that they would never see another owner. I've gone through tons of wheels after that, and
Yeah.
they all were built and resold maybe 2-3 weeks later.
right.
Those wheels, I will never get rid of them.
Yeah, nah. I mean, I wish I could say the same thing, but I had Steelies on my first car, so
Well, Steelers is still dope, man. Come on, don't.
I had
you gotta
Steelies on my
love
first one,
Steelers.
so I wasn't into the whole wheel thing. I just wanted to go fast back then. I wanted to be fast.
Nah, I
That's
got
what I
you.
grew up on. But yeah, no, I wish I would have kept my first set of wheels. At least on my build that I actually,
That you enjoyed.
put work
Put time
into.
into.
I had Graham lights on my S2000.
Oh, I know. Of course,
Yeah.
Graham lights.
I had Graham lights back then, and those to me were like, they weren't 3-piece, but they were, they were first solid pair of JDM wheels. Like that was cool to
If
me.
I had to
but-
think of the car that put Iron Giant on the map, especially for social media,
Yeah.
would have been my Q50.
Q50.
That
What year was
in-
that?
My Q50 was a 15. I put that car together in 15, so in 2015,
15.
2016. Yeah, I got that car new.
Q50, and what color was it?
It was silver when I first got it.
Silver.
So fresh, brand new car. It was silver. Then after that, it went through a ton of it went through so many different changes, like a lot of different changes, more
Yeah.
so than I probably would have done now. But the car was sick.
So you had you were static. You weren't bagged.
That car was always static, never bagged. That
Always static. So were car parts expensive for the Infinities back then, or like I feel like it's more available now? You see them a lot more.
They're way more available now. I wouldn't say that they were expensive. They were about what they cost
What
now.
they cost now? Were they hard to get in the beginning?
No, I didn't do anything that was outlandish. I
Okay.
mean, because the 350Z platform was already around.
Right,
So
right.
that same motor was the same motor that was in the Q50.
Yeah.
So that 3.7 is going to be the same thing. So if I needed intakes or if I needed uprev or Ecotech, like a lot of those things were still available for that car.
They had that back then?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Uprev was around for the car back then.
What tuning platforms did they have back then?
For the Q50s?
Yeah.
Just Uprev and ECU Tech, so Ecotech.
Wow, I didn't even know it was around that long. That's what they use in the Supers. The fastest
Yeah.
Super runs at.
Yeah.
And I guess most of the guys who want to go fast run Ecotech. So, yeah, it's definitely a dope platform.
Yeah, it's an option.
I'm a MHD, but I definitely would love to. I mean,
Yeah, it's an option. A lot of people, even now, like now the Q50s are the 3.0s now. They're all turbo now. So
Yeah.
most people that had the 3.7s, they end up just going and getting the 3.0s.
Right.
So they wanted to go faster. I mean, nobody really knew the potential that those cars had until people started to go fast with them. Like
Yeah.
now, Alpha was going fast with the Q50s first.
oh yeah,
So I mean, now, you got guys like Silva. His Q50. A lot of those
yeah.
dudes like.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so they're putting on for that platform.
I mean,
Making
but
them
think
go
about
fast.
how many years that car's been out.
Car's been out for a while.
That's pretty impressive though for
Yeah,
a luxury. You know what I'm saying?
Luxury car.
Yeah.
To say
That's
the least.
pretty impressive.
The car is impressive.
Right.
I mean, I don't take that away from it. The car is definitely impressive.
Do you still own it?
No.
You sold it.
No, that car, I ended up getting hit from behind on the Meadowbrook one night going to the bowling alley. Spun
Totaled
out
it?
and hit the wall. Yeah.
Damn. Mm-hmm. And the wheels are still fine.
No. I ended up selling a lot of the stuff that I had from that car. Yeah, the wheels were fine. I had Nismo Z wheels on it. So it was me and it was another dude, Fresh Kicks.
Kicks, yeah.
Yeah, I was the first, and I'm saying it here, the first to put Nismo Z wheels on the Q50, and then it just blew up and became the craziest trend ever.
Talk your shit, man.
So
Talk your shit.
then me and Fresh Kicks, we went back and forth about it. He's cool now. We
guys
talked.
had a little.
Yeah, because look, man, social media they like to bat each other against one another just
Yeah.
to see what happens. So me and him had a little shit talk, and he was like, "Well, I'm the first one with chrome ones," and I was like, "All right, well, you got it, you got it." So I rocked the all squared. That car went through a lot, man. That car ended up being wide bodied, like.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that car ended up being like full metal wide body. You couldn't really tell. Like that car was static, 19 by 13 squared, 19 by 12 and a half squared.
19 by 13.
That car had a lot of different wheels on
That's
it.
pretty.
Wait,
Yeah.
on stock body.
No, 1913. I did 19. Widest on the stock body was 1911 and a half. Was the
Okay,
widest I went
11 and a
stock
half. Yeah,
body.
you could do it. You could do 11 and a half.
Yeah, and then I went. The fronts are wider than the rears on those cars.
Right.
Then I ended up going wide body. That's when I did the 13 square.
I was gonna say 13 on a stock body.
Yeah.
Bro. You be poking crazy.
Nah, the car was fitted clean, man.
What wide body kit you had on it?
It wasn't a kit, handmade. Handmade. Everything was full metal molded. Everything was nice.
So was that your segue into auto body work or no?
No, that was done by a shop called Finest Touch at the time.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, they're not fine. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with a team called Scrape.
Yes.
So I was a part of that team at the time. Scrape and Finest Touch, they had a little collab, so they had to shop together. Finest Touch, the owner's name is Robin. He's the one that built the car.
Okay.
He's the one that did the wide body, the paint. I ended up painting that car Silverstone metallic from the BMW M3.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
ended up painting the car Silverstone, doing the wide body. I think I had a set of Workmeisters on it at the time.
All right, I want Workmeister so bad.
Yeah, I had a set of Meisters. I had 2 sets of Meisters. I had two sets of VSXs, VSKFs. I had a lot of different wheels on that.
Those were popping back then. VSXs.
Yeah, VSX is a big. That's
yeah.
a nostalgic wheel. That's always going to be a popular multi-spoke design. So
But back then it was just like,
yeah,
if you had those, you were the man.
Yeah, if you had them, it was clean.
Yeah,
it was clean.
If you had those, you were the man.
Yeah, polished lips on everything.
Polished
So
lips.
the car I ended up doing like a weird blue, and then after that I went to orange. I had Mo Mods in New Jersey Rapid, which is 3M Fiery Orange, and that kind of was where the car stayed for another year of its life, and that was pretty much it.
And then you macked it, and then that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, so how did you get to the auto body phase? Like, how did you get into owning your own shop?
So So there's a shop that I was involved with called Epic Collision in Queens.
Right.
Still very tight with him. Still my guy. We're still cool. So being involved I jumped into bed with him, and I learned a lot about auto body. This is right at the height of COVID. So I was
Okay.
no longer working my regular job. I wasn't doing anything with that no more. COVID's here, and I'm home doing nothing.
Right.
So
Like
I
most
get,
of us.
yeah, so I get involved with this shop, and I'm learning. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning about the business. I'm learning the ins and I'm learning the outs. And it's never been a forte of mine. You know, I'm really good with my hands as far as like turning a wrench.
Yeah.
But as when it comes to a sanding block and stuff like that, I'm good. Like that's that's where I draw that line. You know what I mean? So body lines having to be straight, perfect, things like that. So as far as me putting my hands on physical auto body work, no. Then my brother, not my blood brother, but a really good friend of mine, he worked with Geico. He was just like, yo, bro, like let's open a shop together. I was like, all right, let's do it. So that's it. That's pretty much how it happened. We ended up finding our first space out in Freeport.
Yeah.
And from there, we just started to get more and more accidents in, and it just started to slowly snowball into Premier.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, we're on a podcast. I'm sure I can ask you a question.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like opening a shop, let's say, where's your shop at?
Freeport.
Freeport. Okay, that's even worse because it's pretty expensive out here.
Mm.
But when it comes to opening a shop, let's say if somebody wants to open up a shop, let's say an auto body shop, how much money do you think they would need to open up a shop?
It all depends. It all depends on what type of shop you want to open. You know, like there are tons of different types of auto body shops.
Okay.
Because you have auto body shops and you have auto collision shops. They are not
I didn't
one and
know
the
that.
same. There are two completely different types of shops. Collision work is heavy work, and just having collision in your name when you open your shop
Right.
changes things drastically. For taxes, it changes things for how the insurance companies view you. It changes things big time. So collision work is one thing. If the back of your car is smashed in,
Right.
and you need a new quarter, or you need a frame rail pulled. Those are all collision jobs.
Okay.
But if it's a bumper, a fender, a quarter panel, not a quarter panel change, but to pull a dent, things like that, that's just auto body work. Very big difference between auto body and collision. They don't go hand in hand. Now, if you do, that's why you might see some shops where it says auto body and collision.
Right.
Because they're two completely different things. So if you just do auto body, you just do auto body. If you do collision, you do collision. Well, you can definitely do both, but that changes how much money you're gonna put into the shop big time. Because if
Gotcha.
you're doing collision work, you're gonna want a really good chassis machine.
You need certain machines.
You're gonna
to-
need certain
right.
machines in order for the insurance companies to even pay you. You need certain machines. Now you can have all the machines in the world. If you don't have good guys working for you, it's not gonna matter. You know,
Okay.
so what makes the shop is who's working in the shop. You know, that can determine. You have guys that's been doing this for years.
Yeah.
They can walk in here with nothing in here and take that car apart, straighten it, put it back together with nothing here.
Right.
Versus the guys that have all the technology under the sun and they can't make a car straight to save their lives.
Yeah.
So if I had to say on average, if you had to go start and open your own auto body shop, collision, that changes things. Because Carolina machine itself, you're going to spend, or even let's say not even a top of the line paint booth.
Yeah.
You'll spend 120 grand.
Yeah,
And that's not even
man.
counting having the fire marshals come to the shop to set up, to make sure all of your sprinkler systems, getting all the permits from the town for your paint booth. Can't have neighbors because you can't have the updraft for the vent facing houses or anything like that. So the permits and all the legalities to it alone, you'll spend 6 figures on that by itself. That's
Right.
that's not equipment.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty pricey business to get into, you know, if you want to do it the right way.
Do you have to have certain certifications for certain things? Because
Yeah.
I know, like, in order to, like, for example, let's say Mercedes, do you have to have, because I know you have to probably take classes in order to be able to work or have those cars come in to do work on them. Do you have to have certifications per car, like per brand, or is it just like in general for machine?
No, you don't have to have the certifications from the dealership.
Okay.
Does it make you look better? Yes, because
Okay.
now the dealership can safely recommend that customer to go to your shop. Like Tesla, you have to be certified to
Right.
work on Teslas. But when it comes to Mercedes, BMW, and things like that, if you don't have a laser aligning machine, things of that nature, BMW is not going to just recommend you. You're not going to be a BMW certified repair shop.
Right.
BMW has their own body shops that they own, and they have all of the equipment to be able to straighten out the BMW, to be able to reprogram things. Like everything needs to be reprogrammed on the BMW when we
Yeah.
replace it. Headlights, things, modules, they all have to be reprogrammed. You can't just take one off and put one on
Right.
when the car has been in an accident. BMWs, when they get hit, you have to reset everything. It's it's not just super straightforward.
Tedious.
It's very tedious. So it's not that you need to have the certifications by these dealerships. It makes you look better when you have these certifications, because
Right.
now the dealership can safely recommend their customer to you.
That makes sense. So do a lot of auto body shops make most of their money from like insurance jobs, you think?
Yeah, majority of the time, yes. Taking a cash job in today's time, owning an auto body shop now versus owning an auto body shop 10 years ago,
Yeah.
they aren't the same way. A lot of shops now, even friends of mine, they refuse to take cash work. I know shops, guys that have closed their doors to the public, and if it's not an insurance job, they don't want it.
Wow.
Mainly because, number one, there's always going to be someone that can do it cheaper, right?
Yeah.
That's in any business. But it's also the headache that comes with dealing with cash customers. Now, it's very difficult. Like, you brought your car to me, you want a bumper, you want a fender, things change. Now, how much can I actually charge you? The cost of materials have gone up. The cost of labor has gone up. How much can I actually charge you for me to make money, for me to pay my bills, overhead, guys, work, material, etc., and for you to be comfortable, right?
Right.
So if the insurance company is going to say hypothetical numbers, if the insurance company is going to write me a check for $5,000 to replace your bumper, fender, and maybe do some body work and paint on the hood, versus me telling you like, hey, bro, this is going to cost you $5,000.
Yeah.
Off the bat, you already have an uncle or cousin that can do it for $2,000 cheaper. that's just
We all
just
know
what
that
it
uncle.
is. We all have that
We all
uncle.
got that uncle. Yeah, my boy. Oh, my boy.
Oh, my boy.
My
We-
boy
we-
got a shop, bro. He do it for like $200.
Right. We all have that. So it got to a point with a lot of shops where they're just like, you know what? I don't even want to deal with that, because it's not that we don't want to take the job.
Right.
It's not that you're a headache or anything like that. It's none of that. It's how much can I actually charge you?
Right.
How can I make sure that I can make money as a business owner, but I also don't lose a customer at the same time?
Yeah.
Now, if I tell you some outlandish number that's wild, now I'm an asshole. Excuse my language on the podcast, but now I don't look the greatest,
Yeah.
So to avoid all of that, it's better to just say, hey, look, this might be best if we go through insurance, where you hit, where you're in an accident, et cetera. And then we go from there, depending on the situation.
Right.
Now, we also are, like, we're human, like we're not going to turn you away. If you want to work with us, we'll work with you. And that's every shop in general, We'll work with you. If you say, hey, look, well, I only have $1,500. We'll try to do what we can for the $1,500.
Right.
We don't want to turn away the work, but some situations are a lot more realistic than others.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
The
Not
nature of the
everybody
business.
wants to put in an insurance claim. A lot of people have tons of misconceptions of insurance and how they work. And if I get into an accident, my rate's going to go up and things of that nature.
Is that true though? If you get into an accident, do your insurance rates go up?
Depends on the accident. Depends on who you are, how long you've been with that insured, how long you've been insured with that company. There's so many different variables. If I put in one claim and I've had this same insurance company for 5 years, my rate's not going to go anywhere.
Okay.
Now, if I've had this insurance company for 6 months and I just got into an accident, they can revisit my policy. And if I put in 5-6 claims for the year, that doesn't look good on you either.
Yeah.
So that's 5-6 claims, whether you're at fault or not, it's still an accident.
Right.
You may not be at fault, but it's still there. It still shows up as an accident.
Makes sense.
So
So how do auto body shops make their money? Like, how profitable is it? Because I noticed that a lot of auto body shops, and not to count anybody's pockets, but a lot of guys who own auto body shops, they actually they seem like they're doing well. They have all these crazy builds. They have multiple cars. So is it something that, I know it can be profitable, but is it really, or is it just is there some type of play that, they're taking advantage of when it comes to business, maybe loans or something like that?
That's a good question. A lot of people think that when you own a body shop, you automatically are just swimming in money.
Okay.
It's not the case. When you see guys like that have the cars and all of this stuff, they put a bunch of money in it. That money comes from a lot of other places, right?
Okay.
It comes from buying and selling. It comes from purchasing a car from the insurance company or purchasing a car from the auction, because now I have the opportunity to fix this car at a much cheaper cost, right? Now I can sell that car back. Now, as far as you do sometimes get situations where a car comes to you and it doesn't cost you as much to repair it.
Right.
We don't tell the insurance companies what we want to fix a car. They tell us what they're going to pay us.
Okay.
So if they tell us, look, we're giving you $10,000 to repair this car, and this car cost me $9,800 to repair, I can put in a supplement, yes, so I can get a couple extra $1,000 on top to pay my bills.
Yeah.
But the overhead for a body shop is where you get beat up. So yeah, you may make a couple $1,000s for yourself, maybe. That's not every car. That's not
Right.
every situation. So the back end, what people don't see, where they see body shop money, that's not always the case. Not everything with insurance automatically equals big payday. So that back end money is buying the car from the insurance company. If there's a buyback, you fix it up, you sell it. A lot of that comes from buying and selling, buying and flipping, or just sometimes getting those really good situations where, okay, look, I just made a bunch of money and I didn't really have to do much.
Yeah.
Or the car is totaled and it's sitting in my shop and I'm collecting storage on it. Okay, now I just made $3,000 and I didn't have to do anything. So this is money that just adds up. It's
Over
not
time.
that, it's not like you're making 20,000 in your pocket profit on every car. That's not, sometimes you make $500. Sometimes you don't make any money at all.
Right.
Sometimes it costs you a little bit of money because at the end of the day, insurance companies don't want to pay.
Right.
So we're fighting with the insurance companies to get paid on certain things. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
If the insurance company says, look, I don't want to give you any more money, this is it, you're tapped out. Right after you do your supplement, there's nothing you can do about it. You got to fix the car, and if you made $200 on it, you made $200 on it.
Can you explain what a supplement is?
Supplement is, so after they write the initial estimate,
Right.
if they write $500 on the initial estimate, supplement is when I find more damage. So, okay, look, this wasn't on the original estimate. This bracket is broken. This clip is not here. You guys need to give me more time on this pillar. That's what you put on the supplement, so you get the supplemental income. So that's all after the fact.
So is it safe to say that that's where the profit can come in potentially?
Possibly, but every situation is very different.
It's always different.
Sometimes you can put in a sub. Sometimes you can fix a car off the initial estimate, and then you put in a sub to make money.
Right.
But every supplement doesn't go your way.
Right.
Supplements can be denied.
No, I mean, it's up to the adjuster, right?
The adjuster is the one that determines what's going to happen. And then after he writes the estimate, the supervisor reviews it, and then so on and so forth. So it's a chain.
Right. Interesting. This is pretty interesting. So, now let's get straight to business when it comes to the car. I feel like Josh wants to talk about this car.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh, yeah.
Not to disregard anything you're doing in business.
No, you're good. You're
this
good.
can go on for days when it comes to it, but I'm sure we can revisit that some other time. Now you have your truck or your SUV. SUV, right?
Yeah.
Trackhawk, right? Talk to me about that, because you mentioned that you're the first.
Yeah. I'm not going to say the first. I was one of the first.
Okay.
When a lot of shops were saying that it's not possible, can't be done.
Why were they saying that though?
Mainly, I don't, maybe it was because they didn't want anyone else to do it. They didn't want to help anyone else do it.
Is it because of fitment though?
No, it's all the same. It's all the same. Same engine, same motor mounts, same exhaust manifolds. A lot of it's the same.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know. These shops in Florida, I forget the name of the shop that was in Florida. They were one of the first also, if not the first. They just didn't want to give away any information on doing it. I'm not sure if they ever even got it running.
Oh, wow.
But they were, I think, one of the first shops to start it. And I have no idea what happened after that. But they wouldn't give out any information. They didn't want to help.
Were they Spanish?
I don't know, honestly.
Most guys down there are usually like Puerto Ricans or something. They usually have crazy builds and stuff like that.
This is, I think it was Hellraiser Performance. I don't remember the name of the shop.
Okay.
I think it was Hellraiser. But they just didn't want to help out.
Yeah, it's probably, so if you didn't see it running, maybe it's probably because it was probably a headache or something like that.
Possibly.
Well, you should know now if it is a headache or
Yeah,
not.
right. I should.
You should know now.
Yeah.
But so now, I'm not really a Mopar guy, actually at all. I actually am not a fan of American cars, and I'm not just because like I hate them or anything like that. I just never was attracted into to American cars. I just always loved, I can't even say I have a Japanese car because
Right.
it's a BMW, technically,
Yeah.
but I'm a Honda guy at heart, So, the motor that you have in there, it's from a Trackhawk,
From a Hellcat.
from a Hellcat. So it's from a Hellcat.
Same
you have
thing.
it-
Same motor. Same 6.2.
Same motor.
Same
So
motor.
what is why is that like a big deal that you
With
have?
the SRT?
Yeah.
So SRTs come NA, 6.4 Hemis. They come NA. They're not the strongest motors. They don't work well with boost. They usually pop when you boost them.
Right.
So doing that motor wasn't because of I want to make more power.
Yeah.
It was never a hunger to make more power. It was more so to prove people wrong. I don't like being told something can't work or can't be done.
Right.
So same thing with my Q50. I had S2000 seats on my Q50.
Yeah, I'm still trying because I had a couple S2000s. I still can't imagine that.
Yeah, I had S2000 seats in the TL, and I had S2000 seats on my Q50.
Were they small?
They were perfect. They were absolutely perfect.
Really?
And I'm tall, so it dropped the seat just enough for it to be comfortable.
Okay.
So I like to do things where, when people say, that can't be done, you can't do that, that's going to cost this, that's going to be this, it's going to be a headache. That's when I'm more inclined to do so.
Yeah.
So, they're the same. They're both Hemis. They're both Gen 3 Hemis. The motor mounts are in the same location. Just one motor is stronger than the other. One is supercharged and one is NA. So usually when I explain this setup to people that want to do it, I don't want to say I paved the way, but I've given a lot of information out to people that have done this swap. And there are a bunch of successful ones running around Detroit, Chicago, Arkansas, like a lot of different places. And these people have all messaged me on Facebook like, hey, what do I do next? Or what do I need? And I'll gladly tell them. I don't want to be the guy that's just like, nah, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to hold that to myself. No.
Right.
I did this and I'm glad other people are doing it now. So essentially, you're taking your 6.4 out, your engine, and you're putting in your same engine but stronger and adding a supercharger. That's essentially all you're doing. So it's almost like you bought a supercharger and you're adding it, and that's it. It's not a super difficult swap. It is very simple. But again, like this is all information that I have now. Back then, it was probably like, oh wow, this is a lot.
Right.
Well, now they make things where, when we did it, wiring had to be done.
Yeah.
Now they make the kits for
They
you
make
to
harnesses.
They make harnesses.
Right.
They make extension harnesses for coil packs. They make the map sensor jumper harness. So they make things now that they didn't make before. So the swap is a lot easier now to do than what it was.
So how long ago? When did you do this swap?
This was 3 years ago.
Okay, so 3 years is a good amount of time for technology to at least be up there to where they make harnesses and so on. So those cars, Trackhawks aren't supercharged.
No, Trackhawks are supercharged. SRTs aren't.
SRTs aren't.
Yeah.
Okay, so but the motors are stronger than.
And the motors are stronger and supercharged in the Trackhawk Hellcat platform than just the non-SRT 392 platform. So the 392s are just NA.
Copy.
The 6.2s, those are supercharged.
Wait, so it felt a lot different when you.
Did it feel different?
Yeah.
Oh, big difference. I mean, you're going from 300 horsepower to 500-600 horsepower to the tire. It's a big difference.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Especially on the all-wheel drive.
Yeah, I was
Especially in
gonna
an
say
all-wheel drive setup.
It is all-wheel drive, right?
All-wheel drive, yeah.
How heavy is that car?
5,500.
5,500 pounds.
Yeah. It's a big girl.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So now have you ran anybody in that car? Or you just like more for fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, we.
Me and him ran.
Yeah, I think it was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
when we first
about 2
met.
years ago, yeah.
In the Stinger or the Supra?
No, the Supra. It was me and Anthony. He thought we had a Pure 800.
Yeah.
So he was bragging it.
I was talking hella shit. I was like, man, everybody
Really?
told me I had a Pure 800 in the car. So
No, that was before he put a Pure.
okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. When it comes to Supras, all I know is either the hybrid turbo thing, don't get me wrong, that's not brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just like, oh, you got a hybrid. I mean, hybrids, people been doing hybrids for years,
Right.
a long time, putting a larger wheel in the smaller compressor housing. That's been happening forever.
Yeah.
So when you hear something now, I mean, having a hybrid on one of these cars is a lot different than having a hybrid on a Civic.
Yeah.
Hybrid, but these cars come stock turbo. So when I heard it had a big turbo kit on it, which is a Pure 800, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
I was hype as hell.
Well, it's not
when
really a big turbo kit.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
It still goes in the same location. It's literally like the same turbo.
stock location
Right,
turbo.
stock location.
Bigger wheel.
You wouldn't even know if somebody had a Pure 800. Like looking, you would never know.
Oh, okay.
Same
okay.
housing and everything.
Same housing,
Just the
just a
inside,
different. Oh, okay. So a different impeller.
But,
Right. But you
at
can make
that-
a lot of power
yeah.
on.
But
Well,
at-
not a lot of power, but a good amount.
But at that time when we were racing, he was gapping us crazy.
Oh, really? Oh, so you didn't win.
Well, we did road racing, right?
We did a roll. Yeah, we did a 40 to 130.
Yeah, 40
Yeah.
to 130, and we did what else? 60.
Then we did a 60. Yeah. We did a couple different rolls that night.
Yeah.
That's how we met. Is that how we met?
Yeah, that's
That's the night we met,
Wait.
right? Yeah.
I can't even ask you where. You were in Mexico, right? Of course,
Yeah. Yeah.
but- well, I wasn't there.
No.
Nah.
Nah, you weren't there that night. No.
Was I supposed to be there that night? Where's my invite?
I think we were just out. It was
3
an
years
accident.
ago? Did I know
No,
you?
well, yeah, no, you were there, but I think you left after there was a race.
Yeah, there was a race, and we all were back over there at the spot chilling.
Yeah.
And I mean, me and him racing was like, it wasn't even like it was a purpose like set up race. Like it was just, I was talking some shit, and it was like, yo, run the super, and I was just, I'll run the fucking super. All right, let's do it.
Nah,
and
it was just for fun.
it was just for fun. It was no money. It was no nothing.
Well, at that time, it was fun because then there was no cops. No,
No.
It wasn't like it was before now. Like
with the takeovers and everything.
Yeah. So now it's very, very different, and it was fun before.
Yeah, I mean, dude, man, like we can go all day about the whole racing scene today versus racing scene before.
We saved that for another chat.
Yeah.
I mean, but you go to takeovers, right? So
no, I've never been to a takeover ever. Okay, that's
no.
That's a lie. I went to one. I was out late night. I was coming back from the bowling alley, and they were like right there by the bowling alley. So I was like, I'm gonna go see what this is about. Man, this was the silliest time of my life. Like I felt like an idiot standing there. No disrespect to the takeover guys. Now, I don't understand it, and that's probably why I don't respect it. I'll put it like that. Because to them, they're putting on shows for free. They're spending $20,000, $10,000 a year on tires. It's not cheap.
A lot on tires.
They're putting a ton of abuse on their cars. They're doing a lot to please others, obviously, and to have fun themselves. Now, the takeover guys may not understand making a quarter-mile hit. I don't understand it, so I won't talk bad about it. I just think that it's idiotic when you do it recklessly. Now, I think takeovers can be held safely. I think that it's too much when people are involved and they're in the middle of the circle. Fires are being set, things of that nature. And if you don't got the wheel, you don't got the wheel.
Yeah.
If you know you don't let your mans hype you up, because that could turn into you having a manslaughter charge that you don't need.
Literally see them.
That's when we say you're not that guy, bro.
That's when you're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
So I don't understand it. So that's probably why I don't respect it.
Yeah.
And just vice versa. They probably don't understand drag racing, so they don't respect it.
Yeah.
So I'll put it like that. I'm not going to talk down on them. I get it. They love their car. I mean, we've all done some idiotic things in our car. I know I have.
But my question with takeovers, right?
I have.
Do you think it affect racing in the street when people like takeovers and all that stuff? Do you think it affect the races nowadays that
Yes.
so many cars like?
Short answer, yes.
Yeah.
It did. Because to the average person, racing is racing. If it's a car and it goes fast and it makes noise, it's racing, period.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if my car is straight piped and I never went over 25, I was racing just because of how it sounds.
Right.
You understand? If I straight pipe my car and I did a hit from one light to the next, I never went over 25, but I'm racing automatically because of the way the car sounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Takeover guys, they definitely did not help the street racing guys.
Yeah.
Because it's all under one umbrella. You're
True.
doing something illegal in a motor vehicle. So it all just, it puts a spotlight on everything.
True.
In that world. Everything, whether it's takeovers or drag racing on the street or doing circuit or cutting up, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on the public roadway, it's all under the same umbrella. They definitely didn't help because, the drag racing community or the street racing community side of it was pretty private for a long time.
Yeah.
You could go and have 50, 60 races a night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was it like from back then and now?
Oh, it was a big difference. Big difference. We literally can get off tons of races in a night. Tons.
Yeah.
And it was never an issue. Now it's not like that because everything is on social media. Everybody goes live right away. There was no going live back then. So races didn't get shut down.
Right.
The meetup spots, they didn't come to the meetup spots. But also, meetup spots, there was a little bit more respect involved.
Right.
If we're meeting up at somewhere and there's houses around, there was no music being blasted. Cars were turned off immediately. Those are the two things that we did. You respect the homeowners in the area. You respect the other businesses in the area. It's not like that now. Cars pull up. People want to be seen. There's two steps going. There's backfire burbles going.
Yeah.
It's not like that no more. Now you pull up to a spot. It was respected. You got one guy travel from wherever he traveled from. They want to get the race off. They don't want it to get shut down because of a spectator. The racers there never shut down their own race. It's the spectators that cause the races to get shut down. It was very different. Before, you were able to get off tons of races, whether it's Greenpoint, Erskine, Flatlands, wherever. You were able to get off a bunch of races.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore.
I mean, I remember we were doing the shootout, and it's just too many people, too many cameras, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't really like this camera people and
Cameras, they've been around. They've always done.
It's always been
cameras have been
yeah,
around.
but stuff like that. It's like if I just feel like the street racing nowadays is just it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very different. But that, and honestly, it's not going to get any better.
It's gonna get worse. It's
gonna get worse.
It's every day. I see it's become a thing every single day. The first thing I see is somebody getting hit.
Yeah.
Literally. Like I open up my phone and it's an Instagram account that posts all these takeovers and accidents, and it's somebody getting thrown in the air.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's literally the first thing I see when I open up my app, and it's pretty bad. And I think that the cops can't even do anything about it because it may not be as big in New York, but in other states it's huge. It's a huge thing. Like if you go to Cali, I'm sure it's like that's where a lot of those videos are from. Yeah. And the cops can't do anything. No. There's nothing they can do when they have, and people can carry in these other states too. So they have, you know what I'm saying? Like they have guns and shit like that. So it's different over there and probably a lot more dangerous, the stuff you're seeing as opposed to being in New York, and to go into a takeover.
Yeah, the New York takeovers, I will say, they're not nearly as dangerous as, I mean, they have been.
There have been
some instances where they were just like, all right, dude, like, come on, you shut down a bridge. You shut down a highway, like, really? You know what I mean? So, but for the most part, they're usually out of the way in some business parking lot, nowhere to be seen, do their own thing, that's it. Cali, they're in the middle of an intersection at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So,
wow. Yeah, on a Sunday probably, or even
they're going crazy.
Any day of the week, like they just, that's what, they go crazy in other places. Yeah. In other places, they definitely are different. They definitely do things very different in other places. Like the police don't want to get involved because it can turn out bad for them. Right. Innocent people get hurt or killed. They want a takeover for the police side of it. They're contained in this one spot. Yeah. So when they show up and these cars scatter, now you have 5-6 cars at a crazy rate of speed flying down public roadways. Right. But when they're in that one space, it's like, all right, you know what? They kill each other. They kill each other. Yeah. It's like why cops don't chase bikers, right? Like, well, the cops will literally tell you, look, I didn't chase you. I chased you. I'll be cleaning you up 10 miles down the road. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Cops will literally tell bikers that, so like, if you ran, it's okay. In New York, it's illegal to chase. So.
Is it?
Yeah. In New York, it's illegal to chase in city limits. They cannot do a high speed pursuit because you are endangering other people.
Is that anywhere in New York?
I don't think it's anywhere. It's only New York City. Okay. Or within city limits like Queens, Brooklyn.
Okay.
Long Island stuff, that's NYPD. I don't know about Suffolk.
Yeah, Long Island's probably different. We have more.
Long Island's way
different. Yeah, in the city, they're not allowed to chase you. No, because if they're chasing you and you kill someone, God forbid, the police have to, they get in trouble for that.
That happens a lot too. People that actually I saw a video and I think it was, I don't know if it was Bronx or Brooklyn, but somebody was running and then some dudes walked out from the barbershop and they got hit by the car or something like that. So it happens. And I hate driving in the city though because those streets are so narrow and it's just like I literally when I'm driving, all I think about is just like some dude just like flying down, blowing stop signs, and it's just like that's it.
Yeah, it's different.
It's definitely different now.
Now let's go back on the racing part. Another question: what's the difference between the races back then and now when they do like the steps and all that stuff, and like the way they ask for the leave? You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't really a big thing back then. It was run what you brung. It was I talked enough crap to get you here. We're racing, heads up, driver to driver. Cars were also stick shift back then.
Yeah, gamble.
Yeah, cars were also stick shift, so it was driver to driver. Yeah. Now cars are automatic. So, but now the steps. All right, so that's a interesting thing to ask because, like the creeping thing, right? Yeah. New cars creep. It happens. Yeah. So.
Can you explain what creeping is?
Creeping is when you go to launch your car, you preload, you get up on your stall if
Right.
you have a stall, or you get up on launch control if you have a launch control. Creeping is when it rolls forward just a little bit. New cars creep.
Yeah.
Older cars didn't really do that as much, but sometimes they do. You know, so I feel like the stips now versus then, some of them are idiotic, in my opinion. If you are afraid to race the car that you came to race, don't race. Don't talk enough shit to get hype on social media to come out to race, and that's it.
Yeah.
You want to race, you race this other person. If their car is faster, right, you have nothing to prove to anyone. If you have the faster car, you have the faster car. We do not ever need to race.
Right.
There's nothing to prove. Race cars in your category, race cars in your lane. If you have a fast car and you want to gamble, by all means, gamble. But don't gamble and ask for the world behind you, right? If I'm going to talk crap and I have the slower car and I'm ready to gamble, I'm not asking you for 2 in the leave. That's not a race. I'm not asking you for that amount of space. Not for a $10,000 pot, $15,000. I'm not doing that. If I can't sit next to you, then I'm just not going to race you. I'll race the guy that I can sit next to.
Yeah.
I feel like now it's more of an ego trip now than what it was. We don't need to race. You know, before you also had things like good sportsmanship. We don't have that anymore. People want to race you when your car is half broken. They'll talk just enough shit. They don't want to race you when your car is running on all 8, all 6, all 4. They don't want to race you when the car is running right.
Yeah.
You understand? Back then, and I've seen it multiple times, car breaks on the line. You know what they do? They give each other back their money. They give them 15 minutes to fix it. And if they can't fix it, let me know when the car is back running.
Yeah, and that's what I found really funny, because then a lot of cars, they break down after the 60 foot.
Mm-hmm.
And what I realized is, like, why do you know the length of the 60 foot?
A lot of people
No.
don't. A lot of people have no idea what 60 feet is.
Exactly.
No clue.
And especially in the street racing, you don't know how far the 60
foot is not marked.
Yeah.
And then they try to say, oh, but a 60 foot's only 2 car lengths, or 3 car lengths, or 4 or 5. They don't know.
Yeah.
It's just things to say to get paid.
Right.
That's it. It's street racing now is gambling. Now there are a lot of guys that are in the street racing scene now that I respect, and I have a ton of respect for them. Even if they weren't outside back then, they're outside now, and they're doing right by the OGs that are in the scene. There are a lot of OGs that still have some badass cars, but they refuse to race on the street these days because they don't want to deal with what they see online.
Yeah, that's very true.
They don't want to deal with the headache. They don't want to deal with the complaining. They don't want to deal with the drama. Oh, you jumped. Do you know how many people, like, and this is to say, and this is, you know, even for my race, right? This is me being 100% transparent. When I raced Sashi that night, I'm not sure if you were there, but the video was out there.
I was there.
Now, I did get paid that night, right?
That was a good ass race.
That was a great race.
Can you talk about the race?
Yeah, I'll talk about the race. So,
What car was it?
this is my Jeep versus a X3M.
Okay.
Modded X3M versus stock motor, both SUVs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, he jumped the light, right? But I will say this now. At the time, it was 3 a.m. Me and him did a bunch of back and forth for weeks to get this race off. You know, I drive all the way out to his side of town to get this race off. The way he jumped was so minor that if I didn't have a team behind me, or if I didn't want to argue, whatever it is, if I had all of my own money in that pot, I would have never gotten paid that night with my type of feelings behind it. Mm-hmm. The reason I say that is because the jump was so minor. I slept at the light, period. The jump was so minor, I'm not considering that a jump. Now, that same type of jump at the track wouldn't even be a red light because it was that minor. You understand?
But what were they saying? I know they were saying some stuff about, oh, it chases a race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's common.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
I think that, well, it would have to be stepped today's time too, even back then.
Yeah.
Because even back then, if you chase, that's a race.
What about the track though?
At the track, if I chase you, like if you red light and I chase you, that's not a race.
No, it's not a race.
That's
Because
not a race.
in the track is very different. Because if you jump, the machine or whatever,
Yeah,
it'll
you
say
red light.
you
Yeah,
jump.
if you red light, that's
Yeah.
not a race. You lost.
Yeah, you lost.
Right.
Depending on the situation. If it's a grudge race and I chase you, if it's a grudge race only, a chase is a race.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that Hezi had said was that he tries to go by track rules, because if you do jump, then
Right.
So I mean, that's a good those are good guidelines to follow.
Right.
But somehow there are other things, other steps that get thrown in there that are just like, yeah, but like like you said, if you even a little bit, like it's.
I think those things are so. Look, if I'm slowing down a tape to that degree,
Yeah.
to see if someone
To see if somebody jumped, then that's what I'm saying. It's just
a
like
tire crack, a tire. Come on, like a lot of people now with the 340s and the Supras,
Right.
When they're building a boost and they're
Yeah.
squatting, they confuse that lift for a tire crack.
right.
Yeah.
They're not one and the same. Now, like I said, if I had all of my own money in that pot, I would have been like, you know what, Sash? It was too close to call. Oh, you feel like like if it was too close to call, it's too close to call. I feel like people in today's time are super scared of saying too close to call.
Yeah.
We don't have slow motion cameras at the finish line. We don't have wind lights. You cannot go based upon a light blur. You understand?
Yeah.
It's light. It moves faster than anything.
Yeah.
You can't go based upon a blur. Of course, my light's going to be in front of me because that's what light does. It travels.
Yeah.
So if it's too close to call, the flag guys now, they are so terrified to say, you know what, I can't make a decision on this. Run it back. If you can't run it back tonight, we run it back another day, everybody gets their money back. That shit will start a fucking riot. It will be a war right there at the spot just off saying that alone.
Yeah.
But it's reality.
Yeah.
Like these are our cars, these are our lives, these are people's money.
And for those people that doesn't know, like getting into like racing nowadays, you need a team. Like you said, like they back you up. You would have never got paid if they never.
Right.
Never,
I wouldn't have gotten paid.
Yeah.
And
Because of the creep.
yeah, me personally, I don't want to sit there and argue all day.
Right.
And it was 3:00 in the morning, dude. Like, I wasn't going to sit there and argue. But I'm also saying out loud, too, that if it was only my money in the pot, I would have paid up that night. Right?
Yeah. True.
If the flagger is saying, Sashi won, but he cracked tire before the light, so.
How much did he win by?
Man,
it's
you gotta
even, right?
It was dead even at the finish line. Like, dead even. And I slept bad. He was out a car and a half on me. From when we left, he was out a car and a half on me. Now, again, I slept, right?
Yeah.
If I didn't sleep, the light came on so quick after his tire crack. If I would have hit the light dead on, I would have won. Right?
Right.
In that situation, I had the faster car.
That would have been easy.
It would have been easy to call.
Yeah.
Right? But because I slept, they had to go based upon that little tire crack to determine a winner or loser, right? If he didn't crack tire, it would have been super close to call. Super close. But that little tire crack determined his loss that night. So I got paid, yes. I had the faster car that night, yes. But I don't want to get paid like that.
Yeah, I think that's what the old school mentality is too. It's just like you want to win
Man up.
fair.
Yeah,
you want to win right.
I want to eye to eye, like I want to win like a man.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to just win because of a tire crack.
Exactly.
Now, if it's a massive jump and we can all see it clear as day,
Yeah.
cool.
Right.
You jumped, bro. You know you jumped. But that tire crack was so small. So small. And this is me as being his opponent.
Yeah.
It was so tiny, bro. It was such a tiny tire crack. Now, again, I slept at the light. It is what it is. So if we would have left together, I would have been out on him. Maybe a half a car, maybe a car. I don't know. His car is very impressive. It is very fast for what it is.
And also, it depends. It really depends on the people, because then you have the shit talkers and you have, friendlies, right? And you would have never probably argue with him. You would probably like, it's whatever. Give him my money back. We'll race another time.
I'm that type of person.
Yeah, and I feel like
not other people are. A lot of other people aren't.
Yeah, and I feel like when you guys were arguing at that time, like going back and forth and stuff like that, you actually want to get paid. Like, you want to prove that you actually beat him.
Right. The argument is usually what starts that type of crap. But I'm the type of person, like you said, that, like, I'd rather just, you know what, bro? Here's your money. I'll take my money. Cars are too hot to rerun right now. It's super late. Police are outside. Whatever. We'll just figure it out another night.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't want to figure it out another night. They want to get paid right then and there, and that's it. And they'll never see you again.
Yeah.
So it's like Junior's race with the guy with the Civic, right?
Oh yeah.
That Civic was never going to catch that BMW ever.
Yo,
shout out to Junior, man.
Yo, I watched that video and I was like, no.
But I feel like I assumed he was an old school person. Like I thought he was an OG too.
He is, but he's conforming to the new ways, right?
Yeah, nah, but bro, I mean,
yeah, from
he
the
was not
footage,
catching-
I don't
he
know,
was not
man.
reeling
I don't
him in.
know.
He was
He
not
was
reeling
not.
him in.
Now I understand the the distortion of running a 360 camera to prove certain angles. I get that.
Yeah.
360 cameras make things look like they're further away than they actually are.
Right.
Understand. But the cell phone video of him being 4 or 5 cars behind him before the cross, this is at the 8th. That Civic wasn't catching that.
Nah, hell
That
no.
turbo car would have just kept picking up. His turbo car would have kept picking up, but it wouldn't have closed that gap.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I get the whole if it crossed, blah, blah, blah. Now, that race is probably never going to happen.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that to happen.
If it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. That
Yeah.
Civic is being turned up to race that BMW.
I just saw he just tuned it yesterday. He did some tuning. So he did something to it. He was on a dyno, so it's probably
it's probably turned up. I mean, look,
Yeah.
they have a shop. They can literally put a built motor in that car overnight and turn it up, put a turbo in it overnight and turn it up. Now, him saying he didn't have a radiator, his shop was right there. He could have easily went and put a fucking radiator in the car. It's a Civic.
Yeah.
He could have easily put a radiator in the car and had it back up and running to race that night, but he's smart.
Yeah.
He already know he wasn't going to catch that car. Because if it was a car that he was going to beat, I guarantee you he would have put a radiator in it that night.
Yeah, he actually broke towards the end too.
Yeah, that's what you said. The radiator, they showed it. The radiator was
Right.
split. Come on. Come on, man. Like, he wasn't going to catch it. But see, things like that are now happening in the race scene, in the race community, that me personally, I'd rather stay away from it, man. Like, that's why I didn't have as many races. I've done a bunch of rolls. I've done a bunch of races that just weren't filmed or just, I was out having fun. I raced the Corvettes. I raced a couple cars out, with him. And these are from a dig. I just, you know what I mean? Like, the way it is now, it's so drama filled that a lot of people don't even want to be on the street anymore because they don't want to deal with the headaches that come.
Oh yeah, for sure. Honestly, nowadays I used to go to the runs all the time, and now I just watch it on live. In the couch or in bed or whatever.
I had more fun literally going out, doing a hit, beating my last draggy time, and coming back home excited as hell.
Facts.
I think I'm gonna start doing that. I think I'm gonna start doing
I had
that.
a blast doing that.
Yeah,
Watching
that sounds pretty fun.
That right there made my night every time I went to make a hit. I made a hit and it was faster than my last draggy pass.
Yeah.
I was in the car screaming, like, yo, I did, like, you know what I mean? I finally won a 9. That was the highlight of my night for me. And that felt way better than sitting outside at 1 o'clock in the morning arguing with a bunch of people about if the truck is stock, if it's not. It was not worth it, man. Like,
it was not worth it.
Now, again, that's nothing to take away from the people that do it every day.
Yeah.
True.
They do it every day. They love it. They love drag racing. They love the sport. If you do it for the sport and you love drag racing and you have no issue beating a man, heads up, pause, car to car. I know some of y'all a little crazy. Car to car.
Now I had to play that back in my head. I'm like,
I had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man to man, you won the race.
Beating the man heads up is crazy.
Like that was a little crazy, but I had to throw the pause in there because. So if you have no issue doing that and you love what you do, man, more respect to you, right?
Facts.
Yeah.
More power to you. You love the sport. You're doing it for a good reason.
Right.
Now, if you deep down, you know you're not doing it for all the right reasons. You're not really a car guy.
Mm-hmm.
You just someone who jumped into it because you saw a quick way to become popular.
Yeah.
This is not for you. And you could tell when those guys are around.
You ain't that guy, bro.
You ain't that guy.
You ain't that guy.
You could tell when those guys pop up.
Yeah.
Car pops up, it doesn't do what they want it to do. The popularity is not what they thought it was going to be. They instantly fall off the map. You never see them again.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that aren't car guys.
Right.
Those are the guys that they wanted to try something because their friends are doing it. They thought it was going to be cool. They end up putting a little bit more money than they thought they was going to spend because the car broke once or twice.
Yep.
Then they're off the map. Yo, what happened, bro? You not built? Nah, bro, I got a little daily. I couldn't deal with that last car. No, real car dudes don't say that. They say that for the time being, but after that, they're buying something else to build. And that's just what it is, man. You love this. It's in your blood. You do it because you love to do it, not because of what social media makes it look like.
Yeah.
Social media makes it look like if you start drag racing right now, you will be the man by next year. Mm-hmm. I built the car. I'm on the street. I'm whipping everything in their mother. Now I'm the man. Now, again, a lot of people think that some of the new racers are out here now are new racers. They're not.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a while.
They've been doing it for a while. Even Dre with his M3. No hezzy. A lot of people think that he's just some young kid that popped up out of nowhere with a bunch. No, he had an F80, and he was losing a lot with the F80, and it just made him better and progressed.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if you turn your own wrench or not. That doesn't make you any less of a car enthusiast. If you built your own car, if you drive your own car or not, it doesn't make you any less or more of a car enthusiast. You love the cars, you love the sport, you respect the car more than anything.
Right.
Enjoy it, bro. Enjoy it.
I agree.
So it's a different world now, man. It's very different.
Way different. Social media has become the face of a lot of different things, not only street racing, but just other
Yeah.
other niches and things of that. But so you still have the Trackhawk?
No.
What happened to it?
That truck was supposed to. All right, so I'll start from the beginning a little bit. I ended up making a really fast pass in that truck. It went fast. That truck had a 5.70 60 to 130. Then it went 5.60 60 to 130, and then it went 970s on the street. And then I ended up putting a hole in the motor.
Damn.
So I put a hole in the block. I had the truck sitting. I had a new motor for it, 411 stroker, nice motor from Modern Muscle Extreme. I ended up parking the car by my shop, not too far from it, pretty much on the corner.
Yeah.
I left it there. I didn't want to tie up space inside the shop because I have customers' cars. So I was like, I'm going to leave it outside. It's cool. Sat there for about 2-3 weeks, no issues. The day that I was supposed to move it, I didn't move it to start putting a new motor in. I get a call the next morning that the truck burned down.
Damn.
Yeah, it was shitty. I got called 6 o'clock in the morning. I jumped up out of my sleep and I went to find out what happened.
Damn.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is shitty. A lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of late sleepless nights because I done broke some shit and I don't know what I broke. So I went through a lot with that truck. You know, a lot of people, when that pictures hit social media at a point, a lot of people were just like, yo, it's got to be an insurance job. He owns a body shop. He blew the motor, then the truck burns down. Come on, bro. You know what I mean?
Everyone thinks it's an insurance job.
Everyone thinks everything's an insurance job.
Yeah.
Bro. And me being in the business that I'm in doesn't make it any easier.
Right.
But it wasn't. That truck was my heart. I loved it to death. I had tons of plans for it. Not for the street scene or racing, just because that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
So yeah, and I still don't know who. I don't know why. Can't say.
Just the car was on fire, or was anything else in the area on fire? Like
just the car. No, the car was 100% targeted.
Really?
100%. By who? I don't know. For what reason? I have no idea why. Still don't know. And at first it hit me like a ton of bricks. It hurt. But then after some time, I was like, you know what? It's cool. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been through a lot in my lifetime.
Yeah.
A car is a car.
Right.
You have insurance for a reason.
Yeah, and you can't take it with you either.
Can't take it with you, and you can't change what's already happened.
Right.
You can't undo what's been done.
Mm-hmm.
So me flipping out, me ready to knock on every door in the neighborhood, figure out this, figure out that. My boys are calling me like, yo, where we going? Where we pulling up? It's unnecessary. For what? What are we gonna solve? We're gonna turn over stones that don't need to be turned over for no reason. It is what it is. I'll get another car. It's a car. You know, yeah, the money is gone, but it was gone when I spent it.
Right.
You know, what I got out of that truck, building it, no amount of money can replace that. You understand? So I built it, put it together. It was fast. I had a good time. I met good people behind it. It served its purpose. It's cool. You know, whoever did whatever they did, that's going to come back to them at a different point in their life. May not be by my hand, may not be by anyone else's hand. You just don't know how things play out. You know, and then when your life is taking a crap and you don't know why, you think back like, oh shit, I did some fucked up things when I was a little younger.
True.
You know, and we all have.
Yeah.
We've all done some things that we're not the proudest of, you know, but you make them right. You do right by people. And they say you have good luck from that, right?
Yeah.
Who knows why it was taken from me? I don't know. I can't say for sure. But all I know is it put my head on a completely different path and a much better one. Maybe I was so far into the truck mentally that I wasn't paying attention to everything else that was going on around me.
Could be that too.
Maybe I was going to get in that truck one day with that new 411 stroker and that big Whipple and fucking send it into a wall and kill myself. Who knows why things happen? You don't know.
Yeah.
So what's done is done. You can't change it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean that's.
And you know what's crazy? That truck actually made history. Remember, you swapped the engine.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I paved the way for a lot of dudes looking to do that swap. I gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of information from it.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
So do you feel like you're gonna have another car that's gonna pave the way? Because going back from the earlier days when you had the Nismo wheels on the Q, and being the first to do that to the swap, the Hellcat swap, what is next for you?
Well, we have a shop car that we're putting together now, which is another SRT Jeep, but an older body one, square body.
Oh, nice.
So it's an '08. That one is a big turbo truck. So that is probably going to be the next, thing that we put together. But as far as like myself personally, I want to do something. I don't know. I want to do maybe a Cressida, 2J Cressida, maybe a 2J Lexus GS 300. I miss when cars were built by hand. I miss when we did everything in the driveway, oil, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You worked. I don't want to just go buy something that's already fast and mod it. I don't want to do that. I want to actually take my time and put together something that fits me. I love old school cars. I love Novas. I love Chevelles. I love old Mustangs. I love notchbacks. Like, I like old cars, The new cars are cool. I did it to do it.
Right.
New cars are cool, but I love old schools. So I want to build something where, I miss going to a dyno day and you open the hood, rest in peace, Mike, M&S Mike, where you pop the hood and you saw a big turbo. You saw something. Now you pop a hood, it's plastic covers and intake. It's different. No shade to you guys.
No, but, literally, that's how it is.
It's not shit about us.
No, but it's true though. I went to a car meet with this guy like when I first got the car, and this guy's like, "Yo, let's pop our hoods," and I'm like, "For what? Like, there's stock." He's like, "Just pop your hood, bro." And I'm like, "I'm not popping my hood, bro." I was like, "For what? Like, no." Yeah. And then like I actually didn't pop. I don't think I popped my hood. He like, yo, come on, everyone's doing it. Meanwhile, like while that's happening, people are saying like, yo, why they have their hoods popped? Like they're
right.
done to them. I'm like, bro, I told you. Like, so he finally like, yo, I mean, understood.
It was cool back then because
it was not cool to see plastic on.
No,
back then, yeah.
They want to see, it's a BMW. It's a BMW.
Yeah. Nah. I don't know.
No. It's not cool. Nothing's cool about that.
Yeah, I miss going to car meets and dyno days where you open the hood and you've seen,
man,
massive 86 mil. Like you've seen something.
Powder coated, like everything.
Powder coated, beautiful. I mean, now I've seen some Supras with some real nice single turbo setups where they look beautiful. Something to look at,
Yeah.
I want to put together something nice, something to that where I can pop the hood and be proud of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Versus I bought it and I put a bunch of bolt-ons on it and now it's fast. It's not about horsepower for me. It's not about going fast. It's not about anything like that. It's about knowing that if I break down right now, I can put this car back together, myself and maybe some friends. Yeah. That's what it is for me. Yeah. Knowing that I put this car together. It's no one's fault if something happens to it. Yeah. That's what it's always been for me. Turning the wrench, building it, enjoying it, and that's it. I have a good time just going to the grocery store, going to the deli, going wherever. Like, that's a good time for me. I don't need to go to a car meet. I don't need to go to a car show. Just knowing that I built it and that first crack of the key after you're done, there's nothing that beats that. Yeah. So that's the era that I'm from. So that's what I enjoy. I can understand if the new era of drag racers or car enthusiasts see things a little differently. I can understand that. It's because this is what they know.
Different generation.
It's a different generation. My generation, we enjoy building things like that, being able to see it.
Now, this Trahawk, are we gonna see this car outside or?
Yeah. Whatever I put together, I will run it. More than probably rolls, more so than anything. The Jeep, we'll definitely get a lot of digs with that truck. We don't plan on doing any like New York stuff like that with it. Yeah. Unless it's a good wholesome race, no drama, no headache, no bull crap. And we'll take it to a couple track days, couple track events. We'll take it out of town, get some runs in with it out of town, and then we'll have some fun with it. So it'll definitely be an active.
Yeah, man, I would want to see that.
Yeah, it'll be a very active truck. Whatever I build for myself, I don't want to say it's going to be active. In the streets, I'll say it'll just be me enjoying it. But I'll rather put together something dedicated for that versus whatever I build for myself. I want to just enjoy it for myself.
So, normally I would ask this question earlier on, but I didn't get a chance to. If I gave you $200,000 to build any car, what would you build with it?
You gave me 200 grand to build any car. What would I build?
Yeah.
Probably be a Chevelle.
Chevelle? With a swap?
Yeah.
What swap?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't say a swap. I'd do a big block Chevy.
Big block?
Yeah.
You wouldn't do like any like JDM swaps or anything?
Nah.
I don't think have you seen that? A
Yeah.
Chevelle with like a 2J or something?
I've
or
seen Mustangs with 2Js. I've seen Novas with
Nissan
2Js.
RB26 or something like that?
No,
like,
not a RB. No, nothing of that nature. No, no nothing of that
that's
nature.
like, it's Fast and Furious vibes. I think
Yeah.
that's,
Nah, I'd build something real clean, just real simple, real
That'd be
smooth.
fire.
Either that or I love C10 pickups. I love
okay.
S10s as well. So I'd build something nice, got the velour, suede, bench seat, the nice supple leather, something nice,
Yeah.
Something real just old manish.
Is that even enough money for that?
Yeah.
200K.
Yeah, 200K is enough money. If you find a good body, good shell, then you can put together something nice.
What do
for
those go
200K.
for?
Yeah, for a Chevelle right now running, if it's mint, you'll probably spend like 50, 60 grand. 50 grand.
Okay.
You
And
can
then-
you can get a C10 right now for like 20.
Oh, wow.
A nice one for like 20, 25.
So what are you doing with the rest of the money?
I don't know. The rest I might put in my pocket. Just chill.
Yeah. I'd probably buy another car.
Take the truck to Florida or something and just enjoy
you
the
go.
highway.
It's a
That's
vibe.
about it. Yeah, just vibe out, bro. That's it. That's what all of this is about. That's
Yeah.
what all the car stuff is about. That's what life is about. Just enjoy it. Have fun. Do it to the best of your ability. Not by the best of anyone else's ability. Do it the way you can.
Yeah.
Live within your means and just have fun. You'd be surprised how much it actually costs to have fun. It's not as expensive as what people think.
Yeah. No, it's not.
It's not. You
I
can
mean,
have a good time
especially
for
in a
less.
Super Bowl, you got to spend freaking less than $5,000 to get this thing to make 500 horsepower. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But look, I guarantee you take this thing to a track day, you're not even gonna think about more horsepower. Take it to a track day, you're not gonna think about more horsepower. Now you're gonna be obsessed, and then you're not gonna give a crap about drag racing. All you're gonna want to do is become a better driver, a faster driver, hit turns, and you'll have a good time. There's so many ways you can have a good time with your car.
True.
Yeah.
There's so many ways.
It's not always about horsepower.
No, if you are a car enthusiast and you like driving and you are a driver, take your car to a track day.
Yeah.
It's not about horsepower. It's about being a fast driver.
Fact.
And that's it. Go have fun, man. Enjoy the car. You didn't build it for anyone else. Build it for yourself. Go take it to a track day and have a good time. You can have fun with a little bit of horsepower. You don't need much. Why do you think Miatas are such a big hit? You don't make a ton of horsepower, but they are
those things
go-karts.
are
They're go-karts,
But people who have them, they enjoy those cars.
They enjoy the heck out
Literally.
of them. Yeah, because they're driving them. They want to just go have fun, So I say just enjoy it, man. Enjoy the car. Enjoy what you built. Enjoy the process. It's not overnight. It takes time.
Yeah.
If you get frustrated, it happens. Sometimes you get to the point where you're like, I'm selling everything. I don't want to deal with this anymore.
That happens a lot.
That happens a lot, but it's something you love. You can't stay away from it, So, that's really all it is, man. Just have fun.
Solid. Yeah, this is. You have any questions?
No.
This was not even planned. No questions.
Yeah.
It's the first one I've
mean,
done. Well, first one.
Anyone you want to call out in the street? Soon? Anytime
No,
soon?
nobody I want to call out. I need one person to stick up to their promise,
Okay.
and I need my guy Pepper.
Oh,
I need Pepper to do what he says he's gonna do.
what?
I need him to drag every track hawk there is out there.
Oh, yes.
'Cause he says he's gonna do it, and I'm
Yes.
waiting to see it happen.
He is
I'm gonna
looking
still
for
stand
Trump.
up for the track hawk dudes, but
Yeah.
I need him to stick to that. I need him to keep that course.
Oh, yeah, no,
Because
definitely.
these things are getting fast.
Yeah.
They're getting fast. Those turbo track hawks are quick. So I want to see it happen, man. Even though I'm not outside as much, I still try to stay tuned in. I would like to see a lot of these people that are in it and they're doing it for the right reasons. I'd like to see them keep going with it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'd like to see them go to other states and, put it on for New York. I'd like to see that happen, man.
Definitely.
I don't want to see
New
nobody
York for
get
the
hurt.
win.
Just have fun. Yeah, New York for the win, for sure.
Always.
Yeah, man.
So, tell the people where to find you before we head out on Instagram or social media.
My Instagram is iron_.giant. That's my Instagram. Any questions, anything you have to ask, you can ask there. That's the easiest and the best way to reach me, for sure.
Dope.
Cool.
Well, this is a dope podcast. I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming down, bro.
Appreciate you
I'm glad I
having
met you because you definitely have a lot of experience and knowledge, not only in racing or street racing, but just in other avenues of the car world in general.
Yeah,
So definitely appreciate your time, man. Thank you for coming down.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
Sure. Until next time, guys, make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you are listening, make sure you guys listen on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so on. We will catch you on the next one, guys. Peace.
Peace.